What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. This is your Friday night breaking news show. Yes, what's going on, everyone? We've got an absolute jam-packed show for you lot today. Loads of stuff involved. We asked for one normal day at Manchester United, and this will simply not happen this summer because it's just all going off. The David De Gea situation, which we're going to touch on first, very, very shortly. Updates on Mason Mount, Rasmus Hojlund, ownership situation, which is forever ongoing. Loads of stuff, and then something fun planned towards the end as well. So make sure you stick with us for that. Make sure you do, because it is very interactive. So I'm going to need you guys to get involved. Let's just kick it off with David De Gea straight off the bat. This is obviously the biggest news, let's say, today, unless something else has broke whilst I've not checked my phone for 5 minutes. But apparently David De Gea, this is according to the Disco Mirror, David De Gea is set to leave Man United after 12 years at the club, with Erik ten Hag eyeing 3 replacements. Sources have indicated David De Gea's contractual situation is looking bleak. He has so far been unwilling to accept a reduction on his current $375k a week salary. You know who I'm going to go to first? I want to go to Dave. It's very fitting. Dave, David De Gea, goalkeeper situation. Dave, talk to me about this. Was you have you got the champagne out yet when you heard this news?
Where's the soundboard? Where's the cheers? I'm kidding. Jokes aside, I think we should just now. I commented in the chat earlier while the video was just sort of sat there waiting for us to join. It's a bit bittersweet, isn't it? Because for a long time, De Gea was our best player. For at least for those first 5 or so years post Sir Alex Ferguson, mainly it started LVG, wasn't it? That was when he was sort of good, and then under Mourinho, that five-year period, he was absolutely fantastic. And I think that's how we should sort of remember him, and not like the downs of this season. Like a lot of times we've been very frustrated with him this season because we can just look a few miles across Manchester and see an unbelievable goalkeeper. We can look 30 miles west to another unbelievable goalkeeper, and we can see our club just not really doing that. So I think it's the right thing to do. Let him move on, but remember him with some grace, I'd say, and just remember that 17-18 season, which is not only one of the best goalkeeping seasons ever in the Premier League, it's probably one of the best individual seasons from a Premier League player ever. Just in general, it was unbelievable that year, and I think that's how we should remember him. Say thank you for your service, but it's time for everyone to part ways, and I think it's better for everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think it's not gone just yet. These are the reports that are coming out.
True.
You literally never know. Within next week with United, it could be like, right, they've got him to stay. He's reduced it by 50k now, and he's going to be our next goalkeeper. And everyone's kind of sat there signing the letters for David De Gea and saying how good job you've done. He's like, I've not even fucking left yet. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Shreyas, on the flip side of this, do United fans need to be careful what they wish for? Because it's not always easy to replace someone, you know. We know he's got a lot of mistakes in him, David De Gea, but 10 years at a club, especially a club at Manchester United, it's quite hard to replace that, isn't it?
Yeah, and for any new keeper coming in, these are going to be big shoes to fill. You've had a player who's been at a club for 12 years, and in those 12 years, for a majority of those years, he's been one of the best players in our team. He's been one of the best, I would say, in the Premier League for quite some time as well. So yes, definitely, whoever's coming in needs to know that, an era has ended pretty much at Manchester United with De Gea leaving, and a new one needs to build. And that new player, whoever the new player, whether it's an Onana or a Diego Costa, whoever it is, they need to, actually be very, very considerate towards it, because that goalkeeping position is very, very crucial under Ten Hag system as well. So it's going to be tough, but hopefully we get the right person in. And yeah, we need to make sure that we get the right profile of the player in for that goalkeeping position, because we can't keep, like a striker, the goalkeeping position isn't a position where you can just buy another goalkeeper every single 2 seasons or 3 seasons. You need stability at the back in order to build your team.
Yeah, for sure. And on that, Sam, do you have sympathy for Ten Hag? You know, this summer's already been a madness. It's hardly even started yet. You've seen now the switch kind of go from this priority striker, Harry Kane, to a less priority striker, and now them funds are kind of shifting from there to a goalkeeper. So you have to have a little bit of sympathy for Ten Hag, don't you?
Yeah, like if you thought his first season was a difficult one and the amount of stuff that got chucked at him was like trying, then just wait for the next season, because it's already started with this absolute shower of shit that's going on this transfer window. Harry Kane was his favourite striker, the one he wanted. It's decided we can't get him, which I understand. I get, like, you don't want to waste time and drag it all the way out through the window and then not get him. So I understand that, but it's also frustrating that Ten Hag has identified him as his key striker and we can't get him. So it's already Ten Hag's not getting the player that he asked for. So that's irritating. And then the fact that Atalanta want, was it €90 million for Rasmus Hojlund, which is utter insanity for a backup. For a backup striker is ridiculous. Or for a young striker is ridiculous. And now he's got to deal with potentially David De Gea leaving the club, and you're going to have to replace him with a top goalkeeper, which isn't going to be cheap. The options, you've got Diogo Costa, who's going to be 70 million plus. I know that's a lot of our guys' favourite options. He's a quality goalkeeper, but he's going to cost a shit ton of money. Onana's out there. Again, 70 million, which is even more annoying because he was available on a free last season. Could have got him for free, but now we're going to have to pay 70 million for him, which is irritating. And then other than that, I've not seen many other goalkeepers linked to us. I know there was that Pickford rumour, which I don't believe, but I know that was floating about.
He's a passion merchant, mate. Fucking passion merchant.
So I just think Ten Hag's already getting tested, and you've got the overhang of the ownership situation still ongoing, so we don't know what happens to that. So yeah, do not envy Ten Hag in his position right now, because he must be tearing, well, his beard hair out because he hasn't got any hair, but he must be tearing something out because he's losing his fucking mind.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go around in like a circle and get all your preference as to who you want to bring in. I already know him anyway, but just for viewers' sake and why you would want him in. Dave, who would you replace him with, and tell me why? Give me concrete reasons why.
I think Costa, because he's the one we've scouted the most, and I feel like even though like Ten Hag's obviously worked with Onana, and you'll obviously like him because of that, I think out of all the goalkeepers linked with, Costa's the most well-rounded, and I think he's the one that just looks to be like a future star. And there's a reason United have been keeping tabs on him like for the entirety of the season. I think that's probably the safest bet. The contrary argument is people will point to two things in the World Cup or whatever it was that he did and said, "Oh, can't handle it on a big stage." But I don't think that's true. He's a young goalkeeper as well. Let's not forget he's only like 23, 24, something like that. I just think he's brilliant. He can literally do everything.
That seems to be a thing he gets thrown at him, doesn't it? The World Cup thing, which I understand it, a little bit shaky, made a couple of errors, but let's not pretend that when David De Gea was starting out at Manchester United, there weren't shitloads of errors that he eventually...
So you look at the errors as well. One of them was, I think he went to come out for a high claim right near the edge of his box, and he missed it, and I think they scored from it or something like that, which, okay, that's going to happen.
Morocco, was it?
I think it was, yeah. Like, that's going to happen. I could probably pull up 5 games where Ederson's done that in a single season, you know what I mean?
And Alisson as well.
But the problem with like De Gea wouldn't make that mistake because De Gea wouldn't come out of his 6-yard box, and they'd probably still score anyway. I can't remember what the other one was, but it didn't end up in a goal. I think it was just a bit of a freak one. But like you're putting two errors like that, one of them which is it comes with it. You know what I mean? If you want a goalkeeper's not going to catch the ball every single time. Nobody, like a striker's not going to score every single time he shoots. You know what I mean? It's
for sure. I heard Shreya's coughing then Onana in the cough. I know you're a fan of him, Shreya. You go, Onana. Yeah. Tell me why do you want Onana, let's say, over someone like a Diogo Costa?
I think he'll be much cheaper than Diogo Costa. Secondly, I think he's, in comparison to Diogo Costa, he's a little more experienced. Definitely he's worked under Ten Hag before, so they both share that connection, and he knows what sort of goalkeeper he is. He's worked under Ten Hag before, so he knows, how he has to play to fit into that sort of system. Except that this year for Inter Milan as well, he's been very, very consistent. His distribution on the ball, he's very calm and composed on the ball. He knows how to link up with the defenders pretty well, and his shot stopping is actually quite decent as well. Secondly, I think with if you're getting a goalkeeper in, and if it's Diego Costa, I don't mind him either. I think even if he comes in and Ten Hag wants him, go for Diego Costa first. But I don't think he's a goalkeeper who we should go out and pay a 90 million figure for, because we still need other areas on the pitch which actually need that sort of money as well. With Onana, probably you can strike a deal around that 60 million or 55 million mark as well.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't cost have a release clause of 70 million though, right? 70 million euros.
exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think even if we go 70 million and then Onana is being issued for around 55 million, you save that 15 million and probably it can come in handy for that striker position or that midfielding position.
It's coming
Because
out that Onana might be £70 million.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw 70 million being quoted.
I saw
And
that Chelsea were going in for him with a 55 or 50 million bid.
Yeah, I've seen both. I've seen the 70 million gone thing, and I've seen
There's also
55
talk
as
that
well.
Porto are potentially cash strapped and might accept
Yeah, I've
under his
seen
release clause. So, like,
Who knows? It's just like the
I
ownership.
think
No
as
one
long as
fucking knows.
you got one of those two or a goalkeeper like that, I think you're laughing.
Yeah.
Sam, I know you lean towards Diogo Costa. Well, you have said that. Are you just still stick by that? Do you agree with what Dave said?
Yeah, Dave was spot on with pretty much everything he said. I agree with all his points, and just the bias that people say, oh, he didn't have a great World Cup. He made a couple of mistakes. People, obviously, most people don't watch the Portuguese league day in, day out. Like most of us don't. Like, let's be honest. However, our scouts have. Our scouts, I think Laurie Whitwell said, was it Laurie or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laurie.
he said they've been at pretty much every Porto game to watch him, like if possible. So they'll have scouted him thoroughly and seen him game in, game out for the entire season. So I imagine they'll have a better grip of it than people who've watched the World Cup. And you know what I mean? So let's take that into account. I think Onana would be a great secondary option. Like if we can't get Costa, I think Onana is a great secondary option. I thought the Champions League, I think we mentioned it on our show we were on together, Nick, when he got the ball and you saw City players pressing him and he was just like chill, just took the ball, turned around, picked out an amazing pass into the midfield and just dinked it over straight to Inter Milan. It was amazing. He just did it continuously throughout the game in a Champions League final. Like, and you just like, this dude is ridiculous and so chill about it. I've never seen David De Gea be able to do that his entire career. It's like insane how good he is with it. He's like Lissandro.
I think we're in for a massive shock when we get a new goalkeeper who can do this thing.
Yeah.
Like, massive culture shock.
Yeah.
Go on, Sam. I'll let you continue then.
Yeah, so like, do you know when we see Lissandro, he gets the ball, and then we're so used to like Harry Maguire, and you're like, oh shit, get rid of it, get rid of it, and Alessandro gets it, and the defender, an attacker will come to him, and he'll just turn, and he's gone, passes out your feet, and it's chill, nothing, nobody panics anymore. I think that's what's going to happen when you get a Costa in or you get an Onana in. It's going to change the way our defence looks. We already had a fantastic defence. Like, our defence line this year has been fantastic. Like, it's been great. And that's the reason David De Gea's got 17 clean sheets. It's not because of him. It's because of our defence. So if we can get a goalkeeper who's capable of playing out from the back, our line can come up a little bit. It changes everything about the team. So I think it's an important position and we need to fix it, like, soon.
I think statistically as well, Dave, you mentioned the metrics a couple of weeks back, and I had a look at it when I did the members video, and Costas is just far more significant in most departments, to be honest with you. So not only just that, but one thing I am slightly worried about is the pressure at Old Trafford can break a lot of players. I'm not saying it will do, but it's something you need to be careful with, because if that first season you've got a couple of games, makes a couple of mistakes, you know what's going to happen immediately. Oh, well, he was quick to get rid of David De Gea, wanted him out, and now he's gone. They're like, blah blah blah. Like, I could tend to see that happening, just because I know the pressure at Old Trafford and Manchester United can break certain players, and we saw that with bloody what's his name, Dubravka, against Burnley or something. So yeah, I am slightly worried about that, but I think this is the next step that needs to happen with the goalkeeper situation, and let's see how it plays out. I want to move it on to from kind of goalkeeper to striker. We spoke about him before, but Rasmus Hojlund. apparently we've already had a first offer rejected for 35 million euros for Rasmus Hojlund. Where is the middle ground with this bid? What's acceptable? It's going to be a similar question with Mason Mount as well, but how far would you go with this? And do you think it's a risk bringing him in as your striker go-to guy if they're not going to sign another one, Dave?
Well, I'll go for the price first. I think. Oh, you said it was 35 million. They got rejected. I heard potentially in the same tweet that they're gonna just up it and then maybe go for some add-ons and see what that gets you. Honestly, I reckon you probably want to pay a similar amount that you're gonna pay for Mount, and that's probably where you're looking at. You don't really want to go any further than that. So probably around somewhere in the 55 million region max, like with all your bonuses and stuff. And yes, it is a risk if you to bring him in. However, I have just seen a link today for an experienced striker, which is what we've been told all summer that Ten Hag wants to the Porto striker. Yeah, for like around 20 odd million, which I think if you can get someone like that and a young striker, that's brilliant. And he's been having consistently great seasons for the past like 3 years as well, or something like that. 2 or 3 years, he's been really good. And we all saw him in the World Cup, and we were all like, "Damn, this kid's good." Well, I say kid, he's like 30. But...
No, but he had a great finish against England as well, from what I can remember.
Did you?
We beat Iran 6-2, but one of the goals was an absolute banger, and that was from him, from Tarema.
More money for Porto then, isn't it? United are spending fucking close to 100 million at Porto. Costa and Tarema.
A bundle deal, innit, from Porto.
I think it's 20 million euros or something. That's the figure I saw. That's ish, like a bit more than what we paid for Tella, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And we all know how that worked out, to be fair. But,
true.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like people oversold Tellers. I think it was like a FIFA thing. And a lot of people loved him, like, especially myself. I love playing with him because he was just like one of the attacking left backs. I always had great like team of the season cards. I think someone's gone on there where they're like, yeah, I think it's worth a punt. But he never really materialised. I just don't think he suits the Premier League Tellers.
It wasn't expensive, so it wasn't really like...
Yeah, so...
It's potentially a risk worth taking.
He got Luke Shaw to step his game up, didn't he? So that's
might be worth it just for that. Sorry, did you answer that second bit, Dave? Just before I move on slightly, I said about the price and the risk.
I just mentioned that it's obviously a risk if you only bring him in, because then but then I think maybe you push Rashford up front and have them two rotate, and obviously it's not ideal.
Would you be happy with that?
But I think. If you're only able to get Hojlund in, let's say, I think that's what you'd have to do. It's not, like I say, it's not ideal, but I think that's better than just saying, "Oh, you're our striker now." That's it, because Rashford showed he can do it, and in certain games he can be extremely effective. However, like, the ideal situation is you get someone in who's vastly more experienced, who's probably going to play a very good chunk of the minutes, and have Hojlund come in either like off the bench or starting some of the other games and just like mix between them. I think that's honestly the best option. Keep Rashford on the left where he's better, and maybe a couple of games you play him up front where it's like against Arsenal or whatever, those kind of games.
Yeah, the where the space is in behind, basically, where he kills teams off. Shreyas, one player that no one's talking about. Why shouldn't we keep good old Wout Weghorst for next season? He's a striker. He's played for us. Why not?
How many goals, Nick? Tell me.
In the cup competitions, he's got 2.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think pull up any of his matches, and the reason will be self-explanatory as to why we should really keep him. He is a good professional. I think he puts everything on the pitch, but he's just not good enough for us.
Yeah, I don't expect you to make a case without Weghorst. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Rasmus, though. So talk to me about Rasmus.
Yeah, I think he has the potential to be a future star for us if he does end up coming to Manchester United. Obviously, his name is being circulated a lot. So Ten Hag must like him. I remember last season before the season started, it was during the transfer window, we were hearing rumors about Sesko, and it is similar to that sort of chatter right now with Hojlund, but it looks like Ten Hag is much more directed towards Hojlund right now, and I think the player is pretty much, he also likes the idea of actually coming to Manchester United, as to what we've gathered from his side as well. So
he's twerking for the club for sure. 100%.
And considering he's still very young, He's got loads of development. Even now, if he comes to Manchester United, he'll have to adapt to the league as well, because Syria is completely different to how
Sorry.
yeah to how the Premier League works. So I think for me it would be a very smart buy because you've got a young striker who can be, your backup option to actually come on in games. And considering the volume of games we have next season as well, since we are in Europe and we've got all the competitions, I think we need depth and we need two strikers. And if Hojlund is one of them, I think it would be a very good buy.
I'm quite a fan of it because we always go for the obvious ones. And don't get me wrong, Harry Kane's
Exactly.
guaranteed goals, so you're going to get goals from him. But I quite like it because United always go for the obvious 30-plus strikers. So going for something like this, if it works out and you spend 35, 40 million and you've got a striker on your hands for the next 5 years, perfect. I'm happy with that. But that's yet to be seen if you can kind of adapt to the Premier League. Dan, we've spoken about Rasmus Hojlund extensively. So, again, if you want to add anything onto that, more than welcome to. I wanted to move it on to Mason Mount, though. Apparently, we're ready to make an improved bid of £50 million for Mason Mount. It seems like United are not letting themselves kind of get mugged off this summer when you see reports like this, innit? Which I suppose is a positive. I know you're not a fan of Mason Mount himself, but in terms of the way we're going in bidding.
Yeah, I've just seen some really interesting breaking news. Not United related, but Kyle Walker's in talks to leave Man City for Bayern Munich. That's from The Athletic as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that.
Are they not signing Cancelo on a permanent Bayern?
No, apparently not.
No.
No. Oh, wow.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Anyway, look, we forgot there's a load of comments. So can I just read some about David
Go
De
for
Gea?
it.
Just Aaron Gregory, don't like the disrespect being shown. People celebrating he's going, been a great servant, one of our best players of the last 10 years. Time can be moved on without being disrespectful. Benjamin Enwadu, Onana is vastly experienced. However, Costa Younger has that flair to be even better than Onana and Edison. Interesting.
Oh.
Where do you think De Gea could go from TS7? I mean, it's gonna be whoever can afford his wages.
Saudi.
Yeah, Saudi's the only one who's going to be able to pay the 375.
Straight swap Jessim for De Gea.
There you go. There you go.
He's from Qatar, by the way, but
Charles
I know, yeah.
Charles Sabu is a real Reds Ultra. Champions League final is all I have to say. There you go. That's Onana. Brian Casey, either Costa or Onana would be massive improvement what we have based on the style Ten Hag wants to play. An all-round keeper, Costa for me is the better choice. And then Aaron Gregory is saying, I'd take Dybala for the striker option. 12 million's a deal I'd definitely be looking at. Always been a fan. And then Sam Hojlund for me, but I've never been sold on Ramos. I mean, that's Gonzalo Ramos he's talking about. And then Brian Casey, question for all of you is if it's Hojlund or Ramos for 80 million, which is the better option? One word.
Ramos, all day.
Yeah, Ramos. If you can get them both for that, if that's the price you're being quoted, yeah, you get Ramos.
100%.
Yeah, same.
Go.
Ramos.
Mason Mount. Yeah, I think it's good the way we're doing this. Like, what was the original bid? 40 million we put in the other day?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So if we go in and say 50, 55 plus a couple of add-ons on stuff that, like goals or appearances or whatever, I think that's an acceptable deal. Ballon d'Or clause, yeah. I think that's an acceptable deal. Like, I'm all right with that. I don't think he's a fantastic player. And I think if we pay over 60, 70 million, we've had our pants pulled down and they're just absolutely taking the piss. And we shouldn't go anywhere near that. And I'm hoping Ten Hag and the scouting team have another option should Chelsea be stubborn and go, nah, we want 70, we want this. Just walk away and go find somebody else. You never know. Like we said with the Harry Kane thing, it might be like towards the end of the window, Chelsea need to sell. And if they haven't sold him or they get desperate in terms of selling, you might be able to get him at a knockdown price later on in the window. So that might be an option. But I'm hoping there's a second target they can go and get and accomplish if Chelsea want to play hardball with it at 70 million. Because I don't want to spend 6 weeks, 7 weeks on Mason Mount, chasing Mason Mount, because it's not worth it. It's not worth the fucking thing. No. So, yeah, if we can get him for 50, 55, then that's acceptable. I'm all right with that. Anything more than that, then it's dodgy territory, and I'm not happy with it.
Well, we've actually got Sky Cavi to recover this, so we'll go live to Sky Cavi now. And that's just the information I'm receiving on Mason Mount is that Manchester United want to buy Mason Mount and Chelsea want to sell Mason Mount. And that's the developments we've got so far. Thanks for that, Gavi, you fucking idiot.
Amazing info. You know what?
Yeah,
What if
insightful.
if we end up having him on the show, you're gonna have to retract a lot of shit, by the way.
Yeah. It's like, you know them clips that you've put on. I'm like, it's all in good whatever you want to call it, good faith. Dave, I haven't really spoke to you about Mason Mount. I don't know your thoughts on him. I don't know if you're happy about this deal. I don't know if you'd rather go for someone else, but just floor is yours.
I think we spoke about it a little bit briefly when we had James on the first time round, like a little bit. But
well, my memory's awful, so apologies.
No, it's all right. I'm happy to say it again. Basically, I think it makes sense if we assume that Ten Hag wants to try and go for a more Ajax 21-22 style for us and have Mount instead of your Gravenberch, for example, as opposed to having 17-18 and having Mount as Frankie. That makes no sense. So, and that also makes sense with like the links to Kim and Jay we've been getting, even though there's some noise about Bayern now, and the links to I think it's Todibo, which is again a similar profile of player, very good with the ball with his feet.
What's the Monaco Asasi?
Disasi.
Disasi.
Yeah, as that links to centre back team. We've always been linked with Timber, even though there's not been that much noise about this window. So it makes sense in my head. I think take some of the creative pressure off Bruno as well. I think Mount would be extremely good as like a secondary career because he always puts up good numbers. It's like imagine like Fred in terms of his pressing numbers, but not quite as good as Fred because Fred's just a joke. But also like extremely like so much more better on the ball, able to like take things on the half turn in the box, able to get good shots off, able to create. He's got excellent free kick taking as well, so you wouldn't actually be losing anything if you took Eriksen out of the team, for example, in that respect. I think it's actually a very, very smart signing if we can get it for a good price.
Agreed. Straight as likewise, I said with Sam before, we already discussed Rasmus Hojlund. So again, more than welcome to expand on that point if you want. But I wanted to kind of move it on to the ownership situation. I suppose everything we've spoken about all kind of depends on this as well in terms of funds and all this kind of shit. So the current updates we've had today, we've actually had Sky News Arabia come out and kind of backing up what Reuters said about the fact that United are considering to grant the Qatari group exclusive negotiation rights to buy Manchester United. So we've had Reuters, I think they've got about 25 million followers on it. Sky News Arabia, Spectator Index, RMC Sport, all publishing the same things. But then we've seen the Time Sport who come out and saying like this is going to take another 6 to 8 weeks. So Jim Ratcliffe's still in the lead and blah, blah, blah. And it's just an absolute madness at the minute. What was your reaction to this stuff when it came out? Because I don't think we've spoken about it in depth. How do you feel at the minute?
I think maybe the Qataris are in lead, but this whole situation as to how things are going, nobody really knows anything for concrete. Like with absolute full clarity, nobody actually really knows anything. I think what does exclusive negotiation rights mean? I think what was previously decided by the Glazers was the best bid would be chosen. So they're just once again they're dragging this out for longer just to get more money in, and I think till the time we hear it officially, I don't think that anyone would actually get something for 100% clarity. I don't think that someone would be able to get it until the Glazers want people to know. And I think right now they don't want anyone to know because there is genuinely, so there are many sources out there, but you can say that 50% of them are saying Sir Jim Ratcliffe and 50% of them are saying Sheikh Jassim. So it is very difficult to actually lean on to one side even now because last week it was that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is in the lead and Qataris don't really have a chance anymore. Now suddenly we are hearing the same thing but from Sheikh Jassim's side. So with this whole transfer thing, I think it will just continue until the point it is genuinely sold, and we'll straight away just hear who the new owner is.
Can't wait for that.
On that though, Shreyas, like you are right. Both you have like journalists from certain sides saying certain things. However, Reuters is completely neutral.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things you have to look at.
Reputable
the ones,
business,
exactly.
And that kind of stuff as well.
The journalists that we've seen say Qatar stuff, like I can't remember who the names were now, but those ones have been sort of repeating that. The ones who have been more have information from Ineos and stuff have been obviously maybe a bit taken aback by this because they didn't know, and they're maybe putting out stuff that's more pro Sir Jim and Ineos, but like the ones that have no invested in either are saying actually no. Exclusivity talks with Qatar and Sheikh Jassim are going ahead. So I think obviously gun to your head, I think that's the one you have to go with.
Yeah. Jamie Jackson also reported on this as well. So I'm saying Reuters reported United were negotiating granting exclusivity to Sheikh Jassim regarding sale. That was interpreted in some quarters as an attempt to bring a new bid from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Do you expect a new bid? Do you think that's the way it'll go?
I don't think he has the capital. Like if he wanted to buy Manchester United outright, he just would, wouldn't he? He'd be like, oh, the Qatar's bid this, I'll put this in. But he's gone a different route and he's worked out, right, I don't have to buy the entire club. I just have to get a controlling stake and then I could offer the Glazers to stay on, continue to withdraw money from the club, and that's a different deal that the Glazers be like, well, he can't offer all the money, but he's going to offer us some money, and then we possibly get more money down the line, and we get to stay on. So they get stuff that they want, but they don't get all the capital up front. So he's gone about it in a more business savvy way than just trying to outbid the Qataris, which you can't fuck with that. Like, you're not going to outbid them. They've just got endless pockets of wealth. Like, it's not going to happen. So I think if he had it, he would have done it. So he's trying to be more business savvy with it. So I don't expect a new fresh bid of like he's going to offer him more money, but you could expect maybe him to figure out another way of like pleasing the Glazers or something different or something like, I'm not sure what structure he would do, but maybe he could do something like that would sort of please the Glazers better, and then they would then go back to the Qataris about, well, he's done this. Do you want to offer more money? Do you know what I mean? So it could continue on for a while. But Aaron Gregory is in the chat, and I've got to agree with him. I think Reuters has more credibility than the Mike Keegans when it comes to this sort of stuff. I agree. I think because they're neutral, they don't have a dog in the fight. They're not sports centric as such. They're all about business dealings and stocks and all that sort of stuff. So I think they have to have a certain amount of more credibility on these sort of matters. And I think Mike Egan was on United View yesterday, and he was like a bit panicky because he was like, "That's not what I've heard," and they scooped me or something like that, and he's a bit unsure. So, like Dave said, I think a lot of these journalists in the UK are being briefed by each side, and they're not really getting correct, neutral information, whereas Reuters clearly has, and they've.
It's a different kind of journalism, isn't it? You can't always blame them yet. It's
not their fault.
It's financial.
It's not their fault. I'm not saying they're lying.
Yeah, I know you're not. Yeah.
I know a lot of people on. You were on that Twitter space with Ben Jacobs, weren't you, Nick? I know a lot of people like to have a go at him saying he's a liar, and it's just like, he's not a liar. He's based it off information he's gotten from sources. He's not lying. He's just based it off sources. Whereas Reuters have obviously got different sources. They haven't got sports-based sources. They've got business-based sources.
Literally the Rain Group directly, pretty much.
So you've got to sort of tend to lean towards that. So that's the way I'm sort of looking at it. Again, things could change at a moment's notice. We could be here tomorrow talking about Sir Jim's new structured bid. So who knows at this point?
Yeah.
It could change at a moment's
Actually, wouldn't surprise me.
Exactly.
Legit would not surprise me. I swear to God. In the same article, Dave, James Jackson goes on to say that the lack of resolution 7 months into the United sale process has provoked worry and frustration among the 800 people working at United, all levels of staff, management, facing an uncertain future until a decision is made and what the new owners' policies will be. In a sense, this is kind of adds to the point of how much the Glazers are dickheads, isn't it? When you see things like this, like we're all talking about, well, when we're going to spend money on this player and when we're going to do this, but even like for people who are working there, it's something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And to be honest, are we surprised? I think if we had to guess, like, if you would have, like, we didn't know the sale process we're going, and you had to guess how the sale would happen, I think what we probably would have guessed that someone like Rich may have tried to buy us. We wouldn't have necessarily guessed Qatar. There was shouts about like Dubai, wasn't there, and stuff like that. So, and we'd have maybe guessed Jim Ratcliffe. We'd have maybe guessed. We'd have probably half jokingly said Michael Knighton, but we may have guessed it had been like maybe a few other companies coming in for us, but it looks like it's just these two. But we all could have probably agreed beforehand that the Glazers would probably drag this out as long as they could to get as much money as they could out of it, rather than just saying, right, you know what, we've got like 4.5 billion. That's great. See you later. They've gone, nope, we want 4.8.
What,
No, we want 4.9. We want 5. You know what I mean? Like it's
thing is on that
and then
though,
it
he's
makes
not
it
even
worse for
bought
all
it.
the staff. Yeah. No, I know.
Like,
And
it's
then
crazy.
and then they unanimously voted to have it.
Yeah.
Impossible to buy the club the way that they did. That was funny. But yeah, to go on to your question, yeah, it's awful for all the staff there, especially the permanent ones. Like the
Yeah.
people who only work there on match days, it's not obviously as bad for. But people who they rely on it for their livelihood, the staff who've worked there for maybe years, it's not great to have that sort of thing hanging over your head. I mean, we'd like to think that the new ownership would come in and not ruin anybody else's jobs, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you simply don't know, especially at board level as well, Shreyas. What decision do you make in that regard? Because depending on the timing when they actually come in, do you make a swift decision as soon as you're in, you get your feet under the table, or do you kind of give it a 6-month, 12-month period, settling in, you know, checking the books, doing all this kind of your due diligence, and then assess it maybe next summer?
I think it depends on actually when they're able to come in. Like, if they are able to come in the next week or so, maybe you could see something happening. Because if the Qataris do come in, uh, they want to have their own control. They want to have their own interpretation and their own word of mouth going through uh, into the club, and that is why you can see it at PSG as well. The kind of people that they have actually appointed and put in into that board. So you could be seeing that at United, but only if we are able to, if this whole thing actually gets done by the next week or so. If not, and if it extends much more deep into the transfer window, you could be seeing a case where this will extend at least by 6 to 7 months, because you can't just come in. You've got imagine you've just got 4 days into the transfer window, so you can't be disrupting the system then. You could be looking at options, but you can't be disrupting the situation then. So I think it just depends on when it actually happens. I think it will happen, but if the ownership thing it gets delayed more, probably it happens in the next year or 6 months.
I think it's also important to note as well that just because, let's say, Sheikh Jassim does come in this summer, we can't go then spend 400 million because of FFP implications. So we literally have to sell. Simple as that. We have to sell well in order to spend well. And if we don't sell well, regardless of who comes in, we ain't gonna have a mega budget. So that's where we're at with that. The last question on the ownership, Sam, I'm gonna come to you, and then again expand on that if you want to. Do you think? I know there's certain NDAs involved and all this kind of stuff, but do you think we'll actually get clarity on this situation after the dust has settled, once the club has been bought, etc.?
I think it depends on the structure of the NDA, doesn't it? Like, if they've got NDAs that they're not allowed to reveal anything during the bidding process, then maybe after. Yeah, so then maybe after the bidding process and everything's been finalized, they might be allowed to talk about it, or the NDAs might extend beyond that, like a couple of years. Because I know, like I've worked with a couple of NDAs in production when I worked in TV and stuff like that, and sometimes they extend beyond the length of the production. So it could be a case of that. I said jokingly to you on a stream the other day, where I was like, I hope that to God there's a documentary crew with both of these sides. Yeah. Because my word, what a fucking Netflix series that would be if you could like.
I said all or nothing. Then I imagine an all or nothing on it.
Just the drama, the twist, the turns. Yeah, just like it'd be amazing. But I doubt it for the Qatari side, because we've only just got recently new pictures of the Sheikh Jassim, haven't we? So been using the same fucking picture for the last 6 months. So
we've got new ones though.
Yeah, we've got new pictures.
New ones.
Yeah,
he's not AI generated.
AI's coming up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, AI's coming a long way in the past few months.
Yeah. But I'll read out a couple of comments.
You never see hands, do you? That's the
good point. Good point. I'll read out some comments. AJS, Costa, a better choice. Watch out for those crosses getting in. Not sure what that means. Raj Singh, English media not accepting that Jim has lost. Facts. Maybe. Dan Raj, De Gea leaving could backfire if Qatari can't buy United. We have 120 million to spend plus sales. We can't afford 60-70 million on a goalkeeper. Yeah, definitely true. Aaron, agreed, Sam, he's not scraping around to pay for another even 100%. I think that's Jim Radcliffe. AGS, anyone thinks that Costa is better than De Gea and needs their brain checked? I think you need your brain checked, my friend, if you think De Gea is better than Costa. Like, that's a strange comment to make. Anonymous Mango.
I don't
love
think you
that
can
name.
find one metric where Costa's better.
No, definitely not.
De
I mean,
Gea.
sorry, Costa's not better. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Anonymous Mango. I love that name, by the way. Great name.
Yeah,
Do you
name.
genuinely think that Mason Mount deal will go through? If so, what do you think the sum will come to? I think we'll get him for 55 plus add-ons.
Agreed. Yeah,
Okay.
I think this is the same.
Just a couple more, and then we can move on. Racing Reuters reported Chelsea sale 1 week before 29th of April, and sale was declared on 6th of May. So they've got a history of like getting it right. Connor Crowley, did Manchester United sign players yet? No, not yet. Official sale announcement around June 23rd, I reckon. Before, if we're lucky, I think you're counting your chickens there, mate. I don't think we're getting anything announced before the beginning of the season. RSV, we cannot have Eric. What?
I was gonna say, is that Sam being pessimistic?
Yeah.
Surely not.
We cannot have Eric Ten Hag running the transfers recruitment. I don't want Mason Mount. We need a quality director of football like Edwards, Paul Mitchell, or Overmars. I mean, I think Eric Ten Hag's transfers and recruitment has been fantastic. Like, what players not worked? Like, every player he's brought in has worked. Like, I don't see what.
I agree with half of it though. I think we do need a director of football.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But I don't. He's saying I don't want Eric Ten Hag running him, but I think he's done well. Like, I think the transfers.
No, he has.
So. Yeah. Go on,
Are we through the comments?
Yeah.
Right, well, this is where we get to the interactive and fun part, and this is where we need you guys who are in the comment sections right now. So do leave a like on the video, and do subscribe to the channel. And if you want to become a Real Red Ultra, click the join button next to the notification bell. For the members video every single week, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show, which we are going to do very soon. We're still working on it. Yeah, so what we're going to do is, can you guess the team? We're going to put a kind of graphic out where it'll have a list of nationalities, the players in each position. You just have to guess what team it is. So have we got the first one loaded, Sam?
Let's get it up. There we go.
I'm assuming, before any of you answer, the lads on the show, I'm assuming most of you probably know it. But give the viewers a little bit of a chance, at least, 10, 20 seconds. But do we all know it?
I know this one, yeah.
Yeah.
You, Dave?
Yeah, of course I do. But the only thing I'm thinking of is this, what game that this possibly have been that we started with.
Yeah, so one thing I'll just put out there, I'm glad you mentioned that. One thing I'll put out there is because it's not like, it's hard to say, it's not the guaranteed starting 11. It's basically...
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so it's like from certain games that we've played, but it's not, I've not listed out the actual accurate game because that starting 11's been in numerous games, does that make sense?
I think 2 people in the chat have got it right so far. There's 2 people who've got it right, so...
Okay, well, we'll just go through it. Of course it is...
Manchester United. Starting 11.
Yes. Of course. Starting 11.
What? Has it, though? Has that team ever started?
Yeah. When I looked back, when I was doing these teams, I did it like a week ago now. This team has started together.
Yeah.
Has it? Right, okay. It wouldn't have been a lot, though, because obviously you've got, in the early part of the season, Gallo was starting. Yeah. And then obviously Lissandro's got injured. Anthony was injured for periods. Marshall's always injured. You know what I mean? So it's just like...
December-ish.
That's
I think
yeah.
I think it was December-ish.
Wan-Bissaka would have started. Would that have been Palace, maybe?
Potentially.
Can't have been.
I'll go back and actually have a look.
I don't think there was many games this starting 11 started.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
There was a couple in December when I had a look. But let's move on to the next one then. Can we pull the next one up, Sam?
1 second.
Right, this one's harder, obviously. It's not United related. So, again, same again, lads, before you jump in.
I don't know this one.
Interesting. There's me win the cell for anyone who wants to see me win the cell. Dave, do you know this one? Don't say it though.
No, this is a tough one. I don't think I know this one either.
Oh, you're gonna kick yourself. You're gonna absolutely.
I'm sure I will.
Is it?
Wait.
Inter Milan?
Is it who?
Inter Milan.
What year?
I don't know the year, but I think it is Inter Milan just because of certain flags I see.
Is it the Champions League game one?
Yeah, 2010.
Under Mourinho.
I thought it was.
Yes.
It's fucking it's just Argentina and Brazil's 11, isn't it? This one, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, the back line you've got Julio Cesar, Cafu, Luciao, Walter Samuel, Zanetti. Then you've got Moto, Stankovic, Cambiasso, Schneider, Etu, and Militao up top.
A couple of people in the chat I've got it right. 2010, 2011, Aaron Gregory. Jose team. Jose team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People got it right in the chat.
Honestly, the thing that gives it away as an Italian team is the one Italian player.
Yeah,
Because,
just
like,
one.
they never
Just
play.
one.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Uh.
Right, we'll move on to the next one then. Do we know this one before you shout it out?
The chat are asking for more time, so can we give them a bit
Okay,
more time? So
Of
Yeah,
course.
fair enough. Yeah. I think I know the next one, but I'm trying to think of what year it would have been. That's the only issue.
Okay. Right.
Same.
Sam?
I know this one.
Yeah, I hope you do. I hope you do. Dreas, do you know this one as well? Don't say it.
I know the team, but not the year.
Okay.
People in
okay.
the chat have got it right. People in the chat have got it right.
Okay, nice.
I don't know
so,
the
of
year.
course,
I'm gonna have to figure out the year.
Okay. I'll give you a little bit more time for the year then, if you guys...
Can I say who it is?
Yeah, you can say who it is.
It's AC Milan.
Of course, yeah.
So you got Shevchenko up front. Midfield, you've got Seedorf, I believe. The Dutch.
Yeah.
Kaka.
Kaka. Well, the Kaka
Brazilian.
at 10, yeah.
Kaka,
Kaka
Brazilian.
at 10.
Gattuso and Pirlo.
Gattuso, Pirlo. You got Maldini at the back with fucking bastard. Can't
Nesta?
remember his... No,
Nesta.
centre back. Yeah. Maldini on now. Maldini left back. Dida.
Yeah.
Dida is the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Cafu. Cafu on
Yeah.
right back. And then
Centre back.
Is it
Come on.
bastard?
Come on. He played for us.
Did he? Stam. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah,
And
Stam.
is it Crespo up front?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I fucking got the entire team. I can't believe that.
So was
Fucking hell.
that the year that Kaka won the Ballon d'Or?
Yes.
That was 2005.
Right. I was
That was
gonna
on
go.
5. Wow.
I was gonna go 2006. That was gonna be my guess. So I was 1 year out. But yeah,
AC Milan.
AC, what a team! My favorite team ever. Outside of Manchester United, that's my favorite team of all time. So Chivy got it right. Aaron Gregory got it right. Tony said 2006. I was going to say the same thing. Aaron Gregory said 2008. Alan MC got AC Milan 2005. So he got it spot
Nice.
on. And then Chivy was saying Nesta.
Also, was this the team that Liverpool beat then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Dave. Don't remind me of that.
It's literally the team that started in the final.
Yeah. I
Wow.
remember.
That's like a team that is, Jesus.
It's a fucking great team.
Unbelievable.
It's an amazing team.
Fantastic.
One of my favourites.
Yeah.
That.
One of the best. Are we ready to move on to the next one then?
Yeah.
Let's pull it up.
There we go. I'm struggling with
Right.
this one. Struggling.
What is this one, lads? This one's quite hard, to be fair, but one person in the chat, I'm not going to say who it is, but one person should get it.
It's the fucking
Definitely.
the right wing with the fucking Swedish
I know.
guy. That's doing my head in.
Okay, hold it, Shreyas, hold it. Don't say who it is. But I take your point that you do know it.
I think Chivy's got it. Chivy's put it in the chat.
That's the one I was waiting for.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the one I was waiting for. His favourite team.
Yeah.
Shreyas?
Yeah, Arsenal.
Yes, it is the Invincibles. The
Yeah.
Invincibles.
Of course it is, yeah. Wow.
Is it Lundberg? Won it? Lundberg on the right.
Yeah.
Ah!
You've
I would have
got
got
Lehman.
that. I would have got that. I would have got the team. I couldn't fucking work it out.
I'll start from the top. Sorry, you've got Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Perez, Gilberto Silva, Vieira, Lundberg, Ashley Cole, Lehman, Torre, Sol Campbell, and right back. Shit.
Cisse?
Not Will.
Gabriel Cisse?
No,
No.
not Will.
Sanya?
How? No, not Sanyo.
Oh, he's
Someone will put it in the chat. Someone will put it in the chat. How the fuck have I forgot that? Because his nationality surprised me. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was
Cameroon.
from Cameroon.
Eboué?
Someone put it in the chat.
Eboué?
No, not a Bouet.
No.
Not a Bouet. It was like Will Tor or something like that. Can't remember. Someone put it in, and we'll revisit it anyway.
Diaby?
But yeah,
Diaby? No.
no, not Diaby. That's really gonna bug me now. Right, move on. We'll move on to the next one. I'll get it up. I don't know how I fucking forgot that.
Okay. There we go.
Give me a second. I'll get it up now.
I have.
Loren.
There you
Loren.
go. TS7 had it, Loren. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Loren.
think-
Sorry, my bad.
I think I know this one. I think.
Okay.
I know that team, but I'm trying to think of what year it is.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Let's give the chat some time. Let's see if they can work out who it is. I think I know who it is.
I mean, one key thing gives it away, obviously, which is well, it might not be obvious.
There's a couple, I think, but
yeah, definitely. Does everyone know what it is? Don't say it, obviously, but do you think everyone knows? Are you comfortable saying it, right?
The centre back from Serbia worries me. I don't know. Is that Serbia?
Not Serbia.
What's the flag? What's the flag?
Montenegro.
Montenegro.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Shreyas, do you know? Or do you not know?
I just have a guess. I'm not sure, but I just have a guess.
Okay. Who's actually sure? Because if you're actually sure, I'd rather you.
I know what team it is, but I just don't know what year it is.
I'm not sure, but people in the chat seem pretty confident.
It has to be Atletico Madrid, isn't it? It has to be.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of the goalkeeping position.
Yeah,
that's one thing I was going to mention.
Griezmann number 10.
It's Oblak goalkeeper.
Is it Louis? Yeah, that Oblak in there.
in
It'll be Felipe Luis at left back, won't it? It'll be that's either Jimenez or the other one they had before him that went
Jimenez.
to Inter.
Oh no! It's the other one.
What's his name? He was Godin. Yes, Diego Godin.
Diego Godin. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then next to him, do you know the centre back? Anyone in the chat?
Savic.
Yes, it is Savic in at centre back. Right back is.
So I played with this team on FIFA like years ago.
Yeah, I think he had a bit of an island going on there. That's the clue I'll give you. Looked quite old. Looked really old for even when he was like 20. He looked like he was 70. Do you want me to tell you?
Aaron Gregory saying Juan Fran.
Yes,
yeah,
It is Juan Fran. It is Juan Fran. Yeah.
It is Juan Fran.
Is this like 2000? Was this like the year they reached like the Champions League final or something like that?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, 2016 final against Real Madrid.
I was going to say 15, but wow.
2016 against Real Madrid. One of the players, by the way, I think it's Fernandez, the Argentinian in centre mid. He played like 16 games for him, but played in the final. It was like mental. And then you had like Koke,
I wouldn't have known him.
And then Torres and Griezmann up top.
Yeah. Griezmann's glory days at Atletico, that wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. It's good. And the reason why Barca bought him, and then he was pretty shit for Barca.
Yeah.
But we move. Next up, do we know? I think most of you should get this.
Yeah, I think we should all know this one quite instantly. There's too many like recognisable ones there.
Let's let the chat. Let's see what the chat says
I think most people in the chat will get this. And make sure you smash like on the video, subscribe if you're new around these parts.
This one's should be just as easy to know as ours this season.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Dan's in the chat. This game is so cool. I'm sat inside my car in front of my house. I don't want to get down. Yeah, people have got it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is, of course, the miracle story, fellas. Leicester, Premier League winning team. You have Jamie Vardy and Okazaki, I think it is, up top.
Yeah.
Albrighton, Kante, Drinkwater, Mahrez, Simpson, Wes Morgan, Huth, Fuchs. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Fuchs.
And then Schmeichel in there,
Schmeichel.
of course. Right, the last one, a little bit more tricky, but I don't know. I think most people get this. Let's go.
I think I know this one, but again, is it?
The year is the year as well.
I know the team, but yeah, the year is going to be.
Yeah.
The year is going to be tricky.
Leave it. We'll leave this one a little bit for the chat.
Give the chat time. But I know the team. It's just the year. I'm just trying to figure out the year.
They did something significant in that year. Well, to be fair, they've done it.
I was going to say they've done a lot of significance.
Yeah, they've done a lot of significant things, but this one of the biggest. Let's say. Shreyas, do you have any idea? Don't say it.
I have an idea.
Okay. Well, do we want to, as a group, say the team then? What team is it?
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Correct. Yes, it's Bayern Munich. Now, what year? And then we'll go into the players.
Is this the year they won the treble? Is it a treble winnings? Okay.
Yes. Well, they won the treble twice.
2013.
2013. 12 to 13 season.
Yeah.
Okay. So striker Mandzukic?
Mandzukic.
Correct.
Yeah.
Ribery on the wing.
Correct.
Muller.
Yep,
Muller,
he's on the
yeah.
right. Muller's on the
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
No Robin, that's interesting.
Javi Martinez.
That's he's a midfielder. Yeah, he
Thiago,
has to be.
Thiago Alcantara.
Yeah.
Schweinsteiger or Cruz.
I'm gonna leave it to you.
Alaba's the left. Alaba's is he the left back?
Yeah, he's left back.
So
Yeah,
who do you
yeah.
think? Who do you think number 10 is?
I have no idea.
Muller, right?
Muller's on the right.
Muller's on the
Muller's on the right.
Muller's
Reeby
on the
was on the
right.
left. Mandzukic up top. Who sat behind Mandzukic? You've already said him.
Schweinsteiger.
No.
Cruz.
Tony Cruz.
Tony Cruz was his played
He's
as
playing
10.
in 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then so the two midfielders
Alcantara.
Pivot.
Thiago.
and
Who'd be the
just said him. Just literally said him.
That's
Schweinsteiger.
like, yeah.
Schweinsteiger?
Schweinsteiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we
Alaba's
move-
left back.
Alaba is left
Correct.
Dante.
Correct.
back. Philip Lahm on the right.
Dante at the back.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be Dante, yeah.
Lahm at the right. Yeah, correct.
Centre back. Trying to think.
Oh, this will be someone really notable now.
Yes, it
We've
definitely
just sort of
is.
forgotten in the years, like forgotten.
Definitely.
Ca-
Because
is-
like they've had so many other ones coming through.
Is Khan the Noah? Neuer. It'd be Neuer, wouldn't it?
Neuer.
Yeah.
No, you're in there, yeah.
A centre back. Who the fuck's a centre back?
Oh, is it
So you're
Boateng?
gonna Yes. It's
Who was it?
Boateng.
Yeah.
Boateng.
Boateng.
Jerome Boateng.
Boateng.
Yeah, I thought it would have been one of the easier ones,
No.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite fun. That, to be fair, I tried making it not too impossible. I tried throwing a couple of obvious ones in there, and then a few little tricky ones. But I might up the level a little bit next time because I feel like people's knowledge is quite good. But
Dan's trying to spell Schweinsteiger in the chat. He's typed it. He's typed it 5 different ways, and he's still not got it correct.
bless him, bless him. I'm with
Hey,
you, Dan.
there you
I'm
go.
absolutely with you.
Dave's put it in there for you. Dave's put it in. That's how you spell it.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you to everyone who's been involved, who's been listening to the news and joining in with the interactive stuff. We are going to plan on doing more stuff like this to kind of balance it out because we appreciate the fact that sometimes news is just absolutely relentless and it's just constant like Qatari takeover. So try to break it up a little bit for mental well-being and all that kind of jazz. So big up to the lads for coming on. Thank you, lads.
No worries.
No worries, that was fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I hope you all enjoy your weekend as well. It's Friday night, don't forget. So get a few bevies down here. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing over the Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, go on.
Nick's Dan's asking, can you spell Kalanoglu?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Dave,
I
put it
don't
in
even
the
want to
chat.
try.
Try it in the chat.
I'll try. I don't have the things, but isn't it like?
Dave's gonna try.
Isn't it like that? But like with the accents and stuff.
Yeah. Is it not a K?
I
Kalanoglu.
think.
Mate, I'm
No,
the wrong
see,
guy
I'm
to go
pretty
to.
sure it's a C. I think that's right. I could be wrong, but
Anyway, look, I'm not sitting here for hours trying to spell Kaloglu or whatever the fuck his name is. I want to go out and I want to go get a few beers whilst the sun is still popping off. So make sure everyone has a lovely weekend. We're going to be live over the weekend, of course, with loads of updates and stuff. So turn on the notification bell. Drop us a follow on all the socials. The handles are at the bottom of the graphic. Subscribe to the channel. Smash like in the video. And me, Dave, Shreyas, and Sam will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
yeah.